Hasn't he left as well?
No. He tries to put the extreme right and the left in the same, and the Greek left in the same framework, in the same picture, because...
They're dangerous.
Yes, because he personally and his party are collaborators with the German right in the same government. And
Merkel.
Yes. Yeah. And he tries also to get the support of Merkel to become president of the Commission. He has any right to try for that, and I wish him good luck, but not telling lies about the Greeks and Greece and SYRIZA.
All right, Jung Naiv, we're still in Athens, in Greece. Beautiful Sunday today, and who's my guest today?
Έχουμε μια πολύ ωραία Κυριακή, αλλά σε 3 εβδομάδες έχουμε πολύ σημαντικές εκλογές. Οι επόμενες ευρωεκλογές θα είναι πολύ σημαντικές για την Ελλάδα.
We have a great Sunday today, but in 3 weeks we have some very important elections and very important elections for Greece.
I ask you for your name first.
Λέγομαι Δημήτρης Παπαδημούλης. Είμαι 59 χρονών. Έχω εργαστεί 25 χρόνια ως πολιτικός, μηχανικός, τεχνικός διευθυντής και μάνατζερ επιχειρήσεων. Είμαι στην αριστερά από τα 18 μου χρόνια. Από το 2004 στο 2009 ήμουν ευρωβουλευτής του ΣΥΡΙΖΑ στο Ευρωπαϊκό Κοινοβούλιο. Για 4,5 χρόνια εκλέχθηκα στο Ελληνικό Κοινοβούλιο, 2 φορές το 9 και το 12. Την Παρασκευή παραιτήθηκα από βουλευτής και κοινοβουλευτικός εκπρόσωπος του ΣΥΡΙΖΑ για να είμαι υποψήφιος για την Ευρωβουλή στις εκλογές της 25 Μαΐου. Ο στόχος μου είναι να συμβάλλω σε μια μεγάλη νίκη του ΣΥΡΙΖΑ σε αυτές τις εκλογές, που τη θεωρώ απαραίτητη για να αλλάξουν κάποια πράγματα προς το καλύτερο και στην Ελλάδα και στην Ευρώπη.
Okay, so I'm Dimitris Papadimoulis, I'm 59 years old and I have worked for 25 years as a mechanic and manager in enterprises. I've been a member of left parties in the left since I was 18 years old. From 2004 to 2009 I have been an MEP for SYRIZA, and for the past 4.5 years I have been in the Greek Parliament, elected as a member for SYRIZA. And in 2009 and 2012, the 2 consecutive elections in Greece, this Friday I resigned from the SYRIZA spokesperson in the Greek Parliament because I have to run my candidature for the Euro Parliament. And my target is to do, from my point of view, something so as to help SYRIZA succeed in the Euro elections, because it is important to us and it is important for our country.
And also for the future of Europe.
But why would you quit the Greek Parliament, which is like still a real parliament, instead, and go to Brussels? I mean, the parliament doesn't really have power.
Πρώτον, το αποφάσισα γιατί μου αρέσουν τα ρίσκα, δεν μου αρέσει η σιγουριά. Και δεύτερον, γιατί ο στόχος μας είναι να αλλάξουμε όχι μόνο την κατάσταση στην Ελλάδα, αλλά και την εικόνα της Ελλάδας στην Ευρώπη. Και σε αυτό το Ευρωκοινοβούλιο παίζει ένα μεγάλο ρόλο, παρότι ακόμη δεν έχει τη δύναμη που χρειάζεται. Στο εξωτερικό υπάρχει πολύ αρνητική προπαγάνδα για το ΣΥΡΙΖΑ. Γράφονται πολλά ψέματα, γιατί το κατεστημένο, το διεθνές, και στην οικονομία και στην πολιτική και στα μίντια, προσπαθεί να μας εμφανίσει περίπου ως τέρατα. Ότι είμαστε αντιευρωπαίοι, ότι είμαστε ακραία αριστεροί, μας βάζουν καμιά φορά στην ίδια κατηγορία με τους πιο αντίθετους από εμάς που είναι η άκρα δεξιά. Είναι για μένα λοιπόν πρόκληση να πετύχουμε στις εκλογές της 25 Μαΐου πρώτον μια μεγάλη νίκη που θα φέρει γρήγορα αλλαγή κυβέρνηση στην Ελλάδα. Γιατί αν ο ΣΥΡΙΖΑ πάρει πιο πολύ ποσοστό, πιο πολύ δύναμη από όσοι έχουν Νέα Δημοκρατία και Πασόκ μαζί, αυτή η κυβέρνηση δεν θα μπορέσει να σταθεί πολύ. Και δεύτερον, για να μετάσχω σε μια ισχυρή ομάδα του ΣΥΡΙΖΑ στις Βρυξέλλες και το Στρασβούργο, που θα προσπαθήσει να αλλάξει την εικόνα για την Ελλάδα και τους Έλληνες το επόμενο διάστημα. Ούτε τεμπέληδες είμαστε, ούτε τρώμε τα λεφτά των Γερμανών και των ξένων, απλώς είχαμε κακές κυβερνήσεις, τις οποίες δυστυχώς η κυβέρνηση της Γερμανίας συνεχίζει να τις υποστηρίζει.
So, first of all, I like taking risks because I don't want to be a stable guy. I want some risky things. Second of all, our target is to change not only the situation in Greece, but also the image of Greece towards Europe, because it plays its part. Even though right now Greece doesn't have the power that needs. So we have seen that negative propaganda for SYRIZA and all those lies that the other parties say, because the European establishment, political,
in the media, they try to present us as monsters.
They try to present SYRIZA members as monsters and anti-Europeans. They try to present us as very radical left and put us in the same category as the Euroscepticals and the radical right. So it is a challenge.
The extreme right.
The extreme right.
The neo-Nazis.
The neo-Nazis. So it is a challenge to succeed in bringing victory for SYRIZA and the change of the governance in Greece, because if SYRIZA succeeds to get great percentage, more percentage than both New Democracy and PASOK together, the current government won't have the power to stay longer. So that is the first reason. The second reason is that we want a powerful team in Brussels and Strasbourg, a power team of SYRIZA, so to change the image of Greece and especially the image of Greeks towards the other European people, because Greeks are not lazy, we work a lot and we just had incompetent governments.
Not only incompetent governments. We had the bad governance of the governmental parties for 4 decades, and it's a pity that your government is supporting the same party and the same governments.
Do you think, I mean,
because that parties are making a policy which is supporting not the rights of the Greek people, but the rights of big companies.
I learned that PASOK and New Democracy have been sharing power, or each were in power for many decades. Do you think it's comparable to Germany? Do you know about SPD and CDU? They've been having power since 1949. Is that can you compare that? Do you think, I mean, CDU was in power, SPD is in power, or they both in power? But it kind of seems like
No,
is it different or similar?
There are similarities, but also there is a big difference. The difference in Greece is that as an addition, the percentages of the New Democracy and PASOK was for 3 decades or 4 decades, 80 or 85%. Yes.
Well, it's same in Germany.
But now,
Okay.
in the last elections, the addition of New Democracy and PASOK was 40%, and now,
Wow.
in the coming European elections, the polls are predicting that that addition will be probably less than 30%. So, the big difference is that that policy of high unilateral austerity measures based on a very bad program, which made the public debt to be exploded from 125% to 175% of our GDP, created a big damage in the power of that two governmental parties, which are now together in the government. And SYRIZA, although faces a very strong war of propaganda, of lies, not only in the national level, but also in the international level, becomes more and more the positive left European alternative for Greece. Many polls which are now prepared in Brussels and which are more neutral and less influenced from the Greek governmental parties are saying that Syriza will win. And my ambition is to participate personally in that kind of political battle.
So the German government, do they like Syriza? Are they a fan of your party, Merkel, Schäuble? Are they big fans? Do they? I mean, they're very critical of the Greek elite. So shouldn't they be glad that a big opposition party like Syriza is able to be in power? I mean, isn't that a good thing? I mean, the old parties ruined the country. They obviously failed to see the crisis and now handle the crisis. So shouldn't Merkel and Schäuble and the German government be glad that Syriza is getting stronger and stronger?
Mrs. Merkel and Mr. Schäuble are supporting their brother party, which is New Democracy and Mr. Samaras.
The old one?
Yes.
Why?
They try to participate in a very unpolite way in the Greek political matters. It is almost.
Did they interfere?
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Of course. Yes.
Do you do that? Is that okay?
No, I don't know. I don't accept, but I see the truth. 2 years ago, in the June of 2012, in many big German newspapers, in the first page, there were published articles written in Greek saying, vote for New Democracy and Samaras, which is responsible and good, and not for Syriza and Tsipras, which are dangerous. And 3 weeks ago, I participated in a debate here in Athens with Mr. Fuchtel, which is Vice Minister of the German government. And it's a member of Mrs. Merkel party. Oh. I asked him a simple question. If 2 days before your elections in a British newspaper, you would read an article in German saying vote for the Die Linke and not for the for CDU, which is a very bad party, and his chancellor, Mrs. Merkel, is a very bad politician. Which would be your reaction? He didn't answer, but he repeated that we have the right to support our brother party, New Democracy, against Syriza, which has a left-oriented policy and program. I don't think that effort creates damages for us, because this neoliberal austerity policy is very unpopular in Greece, and the large majority of the Greeks do not like their governments obeying in orders of other governments. The big majority of the Greek citizens are blaming their governments for decades, which created that huge deficits and debts and that state with a lot of cliental relations and bureaucracy and corruptions, but they want to be independent, to be proud, and to vote and to keep the right to select their governments, not to have governments as a colony of other governments and other countries.
But would you say so? I mean, I talked to a crazy TV journalist. What was his name?
Γιώργος Τράγκας.
I mean, he was crazy. He called Merkel and Schäuble killers, and they're Nazis, and they occupy Greece. Would you go that far? I mean, that's a little crazy, right? In the end, you have a government, and they could say no to many things. Do you consider that?
No, our criticism is strong, but political, and it was also that criticism stable in the past. That guy was supporting New Democracy for years. He took a lot of money from them. He belongs to the right and to the populist extreme right.
He sounds like a right.
Yeah. Yes. Our criticism. Let's put it in another way. The credibility of criticism, of any criticism, is related with the duration in the time. There are some people now trying to say harder words against that situation, but up to 1 year ago or 2 years ago, they were supporting that system, that government, that parties. We don't trust them. So there is a big difference between the left progressive orientation of SYRIZA and the criticism of the extreme right on the governmental policies. So although I am a very kind people, I hate that propaganda which tries to put in the same framework the neo-Nazis, the extreme right, and the European left.
Even I talked to Martin Schulz.
Yeah.
And he was warning. There's the populist right, extreme right, and the extreme left, and extreme populist, left populists. Why do they put them in the same category? I mean, is that correct? Why do they do that?
It is not either correct, either fair. When you go to Germany, tell please to Martin Schulz that you met me. And my answer to Martin Schulz is that he tries telling lies to put the left and the extreme right in the same framework.
Isn't he left as well?
No. He tries to put the extreme right and the left in the same, and the Greek left in the same framework, in the same picture, because
they're dangerous.
Yes, because he personally and his party are collaborators with the German right in the same government. And
Merkel.
Yes. Yeah. And he tries also to get the support of Merkel to become president of the Commission. He has any right to try for that, and I wish him good luck, but not telling lies about the Greeks and Greece and SYRIZA.
So tell us some truths about SYRIZA. Let's get some facts straight. Like what should Germans, what should the European people, when we talk in English, what should we know about SYRIZA? Let's stop the propaganda. Let's tell us about SYRIZA.
SYRIZA is a new party of new, yes, it's a new party which represents an effort to create a modern left of the 21st century. He is based in an effort to create in Greece, with a lot of transforms and changes. A fair state with fair taxation, reducing the corruption and the bureaucracy, transferring the right of the citizens, increasing the right of the citizens, which for many decades the governments were facing them as clients and not citizens. Yes.
Like you vote for us and we give you something back.
Yes. And we were for almost 20 years from our very beginning in an area of between 3 and 5%. But from the beginning of that memorandum, we said that the philosophy of that memorandum is bad, and the results are very bad. The public debt increased from 125% of our GDP in 175% now. Our unemployment jumped from 9% to 30%. Our unemployment in the younger generation are more than 60%. The best brains of the Greek society, doctors, lawyers, engineers, artists, are going outside the country to find their future. Yeah. People in your age. Right. And for all that crisis, the people who paid a lot are the pensioners, the people who get some salary, very, very, very low, the public education, the public health, the social state. The rich people didn't pay anything.
Why not?
Because the governments didn't touch them. And in all that of all the propaganda for changes, transformations, and so on of the Greek state, it's a big lie, because the para-economy is now bigger, the tax avoidance of the higher part of the Greek society is bigger, and the corruption in which many German companies are involved very deeply is continuing.
I learned that from Gesine Schwan. She said, of course there's corruption in Greece, but the German economy helps that. They are
corrupting.
Yeah, they help being.
No.
So there's always two sides.
The target, of course, and we're blaming both sides.
Of course.
The people who are getting the money, and the people who are giving the money. If I could say in simple words, yes. Our target is to become Greece a fair, democratic European state with strong social state, with democratic rights for their people, supporting not the stronger part of the society, but the weaker part of the society. We have dreams, we have values. We are going in a more left orientation. We are a party which has as a strategic goal the socialism with democracy. We are against the Soviet model. We are the new left. And the strange thing is, and we tried and we succeeded 80-90% to unify the larger left, the wider left, with the green orientation in Greece. There is no Green Party because SYRIZA covers that space with center-left approach, and so that PASOK from 43% now is trying to get 5%.
Amazing.
Yes. And although all the TV channels in Greece are working against SYRIZA and for government, and do you know the reason?
Because the rich own the media?
No. It's not only that. There are two additional reasons. One is that Greece is the only European state in which to use a public, πώς θα πούμε τη συχνότητα, to use public channel frequency is for free. They do, for 25 years, they own that public channel frequency without giving a pen in the Greek state. And the tender, the international tender for that distribution of channel frequencies is pending for 25 years. And they gave to the same people who are oligarchs of the Greek economy, like the oligarchs of Putin of the Ukraine.
Right.
They gave the monopoly of the digital signal of the channels for 15 years. For 15 years, the monopoly in the national level and in the regional level for the huge amount of 18 million euros only.
Cheap.
Yeah. At the same time, they took from the majority of the Greek population, cutting salaries, pensions, social state, public health and education, 70 billion euros. 70 billion euros. Juncker, who is not SYRIZA, is the
Candidate for
is the candidate,
conservative candidate
yes,
for US
is
EU
the,
Commission.
Yes, is the candidate of EPP for the presidency of Commission is conservative,
Yes.
too conservative.
Yes.
Said that if in Luxembourg or in Germany or in France we could try to cut 1/4 or 1/3 of that cuts,
Yeah.
in our country we could have a revolution.
I asked Per Steinbrück, he was the candidate against Merkel in last election. I was like, what would happen if we did in Germany what they did in Greece? And he was like, people would kill us. They would there would be a revolution. So and I was like, why do we make them do it and not
The Greek drama is not only the huge cuts, but the huge inequalities in the philosophy of the cuts. They are cutting only for the weaker part, the majority.
Why don't they go for the rich? I mean, I heard there's a lot of rich families.
They do not want. Two examples. Do you know the list Falciani?
No.
No. It's a list of people who put a lot of big amount of money in Swiss banks.
Oh, I heard about that. There was like a
Yes.
finance ministry.
Yes,
They found
yes.
found a list.
A lot of rich German people from Spain, from Italy, from Greece, put billions in an illegal way, in a non-controlled way. Your country, having that names, in some weeks or months, took some billions. Spain, billions. Italy, billions. Greece, after 3 years of efforts, zero.
Why?
They do not want, and they say, because in that list there are a lot of their friends, of their supporters, and their argument is that they have the technology to finish that controls after 3 years, and at the same time, in the last 4 years of being in that dramatic program, 55,000 of people, Greek people, sent outside from the Greek banks to other banks, other European banks. Each one more than 100,000 euro. We said, check them. That money are legal. Did they pay tax for that?
Right.
After 3 years, the control was started but not finished. And they didn't take from that big list 1 euro. So we are not Harry Potter. We are not making miracles. There is no any magic trick in that electoral explosion of SYRIZA from 4% to 25 or 30%. There is a lot of corruption, bureaucracy, bad philosophy of the program, and tremendous inequalities in the sacrifices of the people. And at the same time, they didn't do anything to change the problematic structure, to increase the tax avoidance, to decrease the corruption, to decrease the bureaucracy. The banks took 50 billion of euro, which was put in the shoulders of the Greek people, increasing the public debt.
Right.
But if you are a young artist, a young entrepreneur, a young engineer, startup, it's impossible to get a loan, although you have an excellent idea. If you are a TV channel owner, it's easy to get everything. And if you look up from another side, the cost of a kilometer of a public road in Greece, in Spain, or in Portugal, you will see the tremendous differences in the price. Or if you see,
due to corruption, or what?
Of course, way of creating. In the last year, the government made 6 big privatizations. In the 5 of that 6 privatizations, the final offer was only 1, because they were changing the rules of the bid, of the tender, trying to kick up any other of the companies which were interested, in order to keep the cartel of the oligarchs. So tell to your people, to your fans, that SYRIZA is not something dangerous. It's something very healthy. And the war that we are facing, not only in Greece, but also from outside.
Economic war.
Yes, economic and political war, propaganda, is because they are facing with the fear the scenario of domino. They say, if a left party, new party, with not strong relations with the financial and political establishment in IMF, in Eurobank, in Frankfurt, and so on, will win, it could be a very good example also for other people. And we try to avoid that.
So let's go back to the rich real quick. I mean, I hear the rich in Greece are very...
I will take also a part of their of her salary.
Maybe.
Huh? No.
What I was always wondering, what if there's a big crisis in a country and the rich have the most money in the country, why don't politicians are like, okay, we take half of your money, we make the state of our country better. You're still the richest people in the whole country. We just take half. Why doesn't that happen? Why doesn't nobody suggest that? What does SYRIZA say?
This is one of our priorities.
Really?
This is one of our proposals, to share in a fair and equal basis the sacrifices, not to cut only pensions and salaries and social rights.
Right.
But we have a government who is supporting the rich people, because the rich people is supporting that government.
Are the politicians of the government also rich? Maybe they have an interest personally.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the people, the ministers themselves are rich,
Yes.
so they have interest.
There are some ex-ministers who are now facing very hard charges in the court, but you know that in that world of offshore companies, it's difficult to find who is really rich and who is not.
So maybe do it like Sweden. There's a transparent tax system. Do you know that?
Yes, of course.
Where in Sweden everybody can see who pays what taxes.
Yes.
Maybe that would be a model.
Although I am not a social democrat, I find that idea very good.
Oh.
Yeah.
So What else do we need to know about SYRIZA? So you say there's the green part. You represent green policies.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. We are a left European party with a very strong green sensitivities, which now tries to create a larger, wider democratic front in which we are asking to participate anyone who is sharing not 100% of our ideas, but
Nobody does. Nobody.
yes,
Nobody ever.
but our ambition to change our country in a democratic, normal European state, and we think that we could find a solution inside the euro area.
So you're not only pro-European, you're also pro-euro.
Of course,
You don't want to lose. You don't want to take away the euro.
No, of course, and
People, I hear that in Germany. SYRIZA, they want to get rid of the euro.
Yes.
No.
Chancellor Merkel
Yeah.
said that an exit of a member state of euro area could create a domino effect for the whole euro area, and I agree with that idea.
But you don't want to do
and
that.
I think, of course, and I think that if the Greek people decides for SYRIZA and against the New Democracy and PASOK, Mrs. Merkel is a clever person and will understand that she has also to change some mind. Otherwise,
But only after the election. Only after.
Yes, because it's a power game, the elections, as you know, and she personally knows how to change, because when she was young, he was a communist, and a communist pro-Sovietic. I was against that system which Merkel was supporting for years and years. So
She seems opportunistic.
yeah, so I think that the political realism is pushing all to try to negotiate and to find solution. When some journalist asked Mr. Schäuble in Germany, why you are giving such a huge help to Greece?
Help.
He
calls it help.
Yeah, help. The impressive answer of Schäuble was that it's a help for us and not for them. And this is the truth. They try to help their banks, their interests, and not to help the Greek people.
I learned that from my financial expert. He says Rettungsprogramme, the saving programs.
Yeah.
They don't save the Greek people. They
No.
save banks and investors.
They
and all.
saved investors and many strong banks, mainly German and French, which both time and in the same time they tried to go to put over their shoulders the part of the Greek debt. But the sacrifices and the failure of that program is very big. If you see the IMF, which is not SYRIZA, IMF is an institution with very neoliberal ideas in the economy, and they say that the Greek debt has to be cut.
So cut it.
Yes,
Cut it.
yes, and the main resistance is coming from the euro area and mainly from Frankfurt and mainly from Merkel. So I think that in that European elections, the main question is that if the euro area will continue with the dogma Merkel,
Right.
the results will be higher inequalities, reduction of the cohesion inside the euro area between north and south, between rich and poor, and tremendous increase of the extreme right and of the nationalism. We are trying to recreate, not alone, but with others in the European continent, another way to rethink about the founding ideas of Europe, which were democracy, peace, solidarity, cohesion. And now we have the drama of the Ukraine giving an idea of the madness of nationalism, of national egoism. We want peaceful political solutions, and we think that we are the more pro-European political power in the country.
I talked to a young girl yesterday, and she says Greece is not a democracy; it's an oligarchy. Would you agree?
Yeah. Although we are the origin of the term of democracy, we are the founder of the democracy.
You came up with the idea of democracy.
Yes. Now
you haven't implemented yet, or is it?
We are facing a very big deficit of democracy because all that tough austerity measures, all that great inequalities in sacrifices need a very undemocratic state and very undemocratic way of manipulating the things. Prime Minister Samaras is Prime Minister for almost 2 years.
Yes.
We put him 60 questions in the hour of Prime Minister in the Parliament.
Right.
He didn't came once. We proposed him to participate in a debate with Tsipras, the leaders of the two main parties. He refused. His stronger assistant, the General Secretary of the government, which was totally unknown in Greece and is a personal friend of Samaras, and Samaras put it in that place, and he gave him a lot of additional power in comparison with the General Secretaries of the government. Was published in a video debating and negotiating with the vice president, with the number 2 of the neo-Nazis, Golden Dawn, saying that we try to help you, but there are other guys, bad guys in the government, who said a lot of with Samaras to put you in jail because we try to get your votes to our party. And the propaganda of that channels in Greece, which are altogether 100% pro-government and anti-SYRIZA, tried to say to the people that friend of Samaras, the General Secretary, was a liar, was a traitor, and Andoni Samaras didn't know anything about all that dirty job. Idiot or liar? Give me an answer.
Should I also talk to Alexis Tsipras soon? Is it worth talking to Mr. Tsipras?
Samaras?
No, Tsipras, your party leader.
Yeah.
Should I talk to him? Is he a good guy?
Yes, it's a good guy. No, it's a good guy, but now...
He's a young guy.
Yes, it's 40 years old.
Is he young and naive? Like
yes, as your show.
Yeah.
Yes, he was elected 7 years ago in the leadership of the party. He's going very well. I supporting him very strongly, and I think that a part of that big increase of SYRIZA is related to his personality, and it's the decision of the European left to support for the presidency of the Commission Tsipras is not something good only for Cyprus or for Syriza. It's good also for Greece, because we are member of the European group for 33 years, since 1981, and up to now, no one politician from New Democracy or PASOK had such a proposal for a possible role.
So, and last question. I mean, let's say Syriza comes like after
Because now the sun is it's good for you, but
we're already at 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's the longest one so
Yeah,
far. But one last question. Let's say Syriza comes out on top, like the strongest party in the next national election.
yeah.
You still have to form a coalition.
yeah.
Who do you form a coalition with? If PASOK and New Democracy be like, no, we're not gonna go with them. Who can you work with? Who can give you a majority? Because you're probably not gonna have your own majority. You have to form a coalition. Who is there?
In any case, and also in the case that we will have a parliamentary majority, which is difficult but not impossible, we'll try to create wider alliances.
With who? Potami?
With any people or person or party which will want to help in putting in force the program which was supported from the Greek citizens. We will present our program, our policy. We will ask for the bigger power than we can, saying in the simple words that as stronger we are, the better we can. But and in politics, of course, I don't think that New Democracy or PASOK, who are facing as monsters and enemies, will try to say that they want to help us to put to implementing that program. But for other parties who are smaller and now trying to be also present in the coming parliament, my answer is let's hear the answer of the people. I don't know which parties will be in the coming parliament, and then we will try to create not only a parliamentary majority as wider we can, based in a program, based in some moral values of governing, right. But also the larger majority also in the society. If there is a people who is a man working for the state, which is expert and could help us to organize the tax system, to organize the reduction of the corruption, of the bureaucracy, we will take him and we will put him in the most strong and responsible place, because I repeat you, clients is pelates, citizens is polites. We were facing the citizens as citizens and not as clients. And this is the main reason for which walking in the street and in the streets and discussing with people, we will find people of your age or some 10 or 20 years older, which you will say they say you, we are not belonging in the left, but we will support SYRIZA.
One more thing, like I remember, like in Germany, when you are unemployed, mm-hmm. and you go to the unemployment agency, mm-hmm. you're not a citizen anymore or an unemployed citizen, but you are a client. They call you client. You are a Kunde. It kind of dawned on me that it's kind of almost the same in Germany now. Like they actually call you Kunde. You're a client. When you're unemployed, you go to the agency and need a job. They call you a client.
If this situation in Greece do not change in a positive way, I think that the things will become worse also in Germany. We are now in the front desk of a European battle against some very neoliberal policies, which are supporting banks' interests against the interests of the simple citizens.
But why was neoliberalism not dead after the financial crisis of 2008? It crashed. Everything came down.
And,
Why did nobody learn?
They said that they learned, they had their lessons, and they changed that casino capitalism.
But the banks are bigger than ever.
And then they took the money from the national budget and they gave it to the banks. They increased the public debt, and then they said to the people, now we have a very big debt, and we have to cut your salary, your pension, your social state, because we want to save the banks. This is the system. Nothing changes in the structure, nothing changes in the philosophy of that casino capitalism. And so what? Die Linke is now the main opposition party in Germany. It's strange.
Or very small opposition.
Yes. They had as an ambition. Everyone in the European left wants to become as SYRIZA.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.